Welcome to my Ed Talk on the book Reading and Teaching Students in Poverty, chapters 1 through 5. This book gave us some unique information regarding what it might be for students to be in a poverty situation. In building a world of educated students, educated people, and well rounded individuals, we know that some of us have different struggles in life. The poverty in this book, I really took to mean that we can all have different poverties in our life, not some that are just monetary, but other struggles that give us um, less aptitude or less enthusiasm regarding school, education, knowledge, just getting by sometimes would be the struggle of the day. And putting school in the mix sometimes is the last thing that some of these students are really concerned with. They might be just concerned with whether or not when they come home is their parent going to be, um, sober, or whether or not the problems that they face in their world, as far as food, or if they're going to have to walk home, 4 miles a day. Different struggles mean different things for different kids, and I think that common sense tells us that all students require compassion, and the problem is um, that we end up as teachers working just on planting facts without really getting a foundational knowledge of what our student might be going through. And this really does set the tone and sets the student up for failure. The problem that we have in teaching sometimes is that we don't just want to teach them facts. We want to be able to teach them how to interpret things. And sometimes those interpretations can become very messy. I know for my content area in social science, there are a lot of there's a lot of misinformation in history, and it's very important to teach them honestly what history is, even the bad parts as well as the good. There's a lot of history that is biased. There's a lot of history that's ugly, and we look to teach them the symbolism of what is unique about the United States and what is wonderful about the United States. But we also have to teach them about what a clear worldview is, and not just surrounding them in a shell of democracy. The book had pointed out that there are, um, you know, slightly poorer, weaker people in the world. Obviously, we know this, but actually teaching a student to be compassionate about that and to use democracy as a form of government over just a symbol without substance is very important to me, and something that I'm working very hard to secure as a foundation for my teaching. One of the other components of these chapters that I found interesting, and something that we all spend a lot of time talking about, is testing, and just teaching students how to take tests without real knowledge to back it up. Um, and how we rank in the world was also brought up in these topics, and obviously our students don't care how we are ranked in the world. And one of the pleas that was made in the book is that, what if I told you our nation was at risk um, of completely being mediocre, just to be average? The United States is an average nation. Most of us want to accept that. We wouldn't want to accept that we have isolated our First Nations people, and that our citizenship, that we really hope to embody a perfect union that was diverse and for everybody, even hundreds of years later, isn't really that diverse and isn't really for everybody. A teacher must decide whether or not they're going to initiate that value and be authentic in their classroom. And this comes really through trusting students and realizing that each student is not perfect. They're just students. They're not adults, and they're a work in progress, as we all are. teacher has to decide whether or not they're going to trust a student and approach them with honesty, um, or they're going to make a decision that they're going to treat them like broken, savage individuals that need to be tamed. And that is not our job to do. Our job is to provide these students with the idea that they are a work in progress and that they have the ability to choose how to be different and how to be unique and spark meaning and energy into our teaching, so that it sparks meaning and energy into our classroom, the minds of our students, and hopefully a broader term into their worldview. Thank you.